What a funny. We've got a bit to do today. I've finally gotten over this viral infection or whatever it was. My son has strep throat. I don't think I had strep throat, but my throat was pretty bad. Took antibiotics for it. I'm feeling better, but now I've got the rest of the week to look after my son. So I utilize this time, I guess, in between looking after him to try and get some stuff done. It is cold at the moment. But starting with micros, we're going to do sow our micros for the week because I am behind on that. These should have been sown on Friday, and it is now Monday, mostly because I was sick and my wife was busy looking after my son while I was sick. Now I'm better, she's going to work, and now, yeah. Now our micros, unlike, oh, that's too much. Oh, that's all right. Unlike out in the garden, where it's organic, everything's organic out there, not certified organic, but organic nonetheless. Our micros are not. I do use synthetic fertilizers for it, mostly because to establish a proper microbiology or an ecosystem within your soil takes a good 3 to 4 weeks just to start it, and then from there it will grow. Microgreens, they're finished within 7 to 14 days, sometimes 21 days with your longer crops. So it's just not going to work. They're not going to benefit from it. When this goes out to the compost, it does help, but for the most part, it's not going to work. So in order to get my micros to the best color and taste and yield the best that they can, I'm using synthetics. That being said, our cocoa coir, I do buffer it with organic stuff so that when it does go out to the compost, for the most part, those fertilizers are gone because the microgreens have used them up, but what's left is your fulvic acids, your humic acids, all the enzymes that I add to this while I'm buffering it, and then that adds to our gardens out there. Now, a lot will argue that that now makes my compost no longer organic. And for the most part, true. If I was jumping through hoops to get an organic certification, then most definitely I would never get a certification because of that. But I'm not going to do that. Out in the garden, everything that goes into that garden is organic. So I'm thinking, moving forward, I'm going to try and do more a day in the life of what we do around here. I don't know how well that's going to work because there's only so much you can do when the videos start to become more repetitive than anything because it's just daily routines. But moving into summer seasons and stuff like that, things will change, things get busier, gardens change, everything like that. Still setting up infrastructure, so there's gonna be a lot of videos where I'm still doing things. So I've still got the hydroponics, we're gonna do that today, but later on when it warms up, I don't wanna open up the garage at the moment until it's warmer, because as soon as I open that garage, that feeds the microgreens room with fresh air. That's just gonna suck in really cold air. So once we've done this, we go to the garden, we're gonna top dress everything and fertilize it. What am I doing? I forgot. And then after that, we'll go to the hydroponics room and then start working on that. But I feel like I need to start doing more videos like this, more of day in the life, more of just everything we do from day-to-day basis, because the whole point of what I want to achieve, of what I'm trying to achieve, if that makes sense, is you guys follow everything from seed to harvest, the failures, the successes, everything. Me burning myself out. Now, to do some top dressing, I'm going to hit it with some blood and bone, some sheep and chicken pellets, which is manure basically. What is manure? Hot ash and eggshells, cooked and blended eggshells into a dust for a good calcium hit. Do that. Now, if I try and do all my beds, it's going to take me all day, so I'm just going to focus on the 4 beds behind me because they need it the most. So we'll get that done, and then we're going to get stuck into the hydroponics. Biggest issue I've had this season, my cauliflowers all bolting. They start to form their head and then they bolt. Before they even get a chance to properly form up, I'm assuming it's because I've planted these too close together. Now, it would have probably worked if I was on top of doing the fertilizer and everything and making sure they were looked after while being so close together, but I didn't because I've been trying to get everything else in place, which is a real bad fail on my half because there's been a lot of cauliflowers going into the compost. So to do this, we're going to put all all our stuff into the one bucket instead of carrying around all these separate bags, and then we'll go along and just mix it in. Egg shells. Doing your eggshells this way, you make sure you collect them over the week and then you put them in the oven at 100 degrees, which is sure that's in Fahrenheit, for a good 10 minutes to sterilize them, and then it makes them brittle. Then chuck them into your blender for a good 30 seconds. Turn it into a fine dust, like that. That increases the surface area and makes it easier for the microbes in your soil to break it down and make it more available source of calcium for the plants, which they need for cell structure and everything like that, especially when they start to fruit. Another way you could do it is you add a bit of vinegar and leave it for 24 to 48 hours while it's frothing and everything like that. Once that settles, it means it's ready. You just water it down because obviously vinegar is acidic. And then it's even almost an instant hit of calcium for your plants. I didn't bring my knife. Damn it. Kitty-proof plastic. All right. Should really be wearing gloves. So on top of your regular fertilizing with your liquid fertilizers and everything, you should be doing some sort of top dressing, especially as your plants progress into the next stage of growth. To support that, don't just rely on your liquid fertilizers. You need to keep that soil microbiology going. So the blood and bone, as well as the sheep pellets, will increase that microbe activity. And as they break it all down, we end up with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, all those nutrients that the plants need in the soil. I've said it before in my videos, you don't want to just feed the plant, you need to feed the soil. You feed the soil looks after the plant. One of the biggest examples of the neglect in this garden lately is these celeries. I'm going to fit, let me see what happens. Hopefully they bounce back, but that's blight taking over. Late season blight, but we'll see. Either way, celery is a very nutrient hungry plant, so the soil needs to be replenished anyways. Surprisingly though, a few of the celeries that I culled a month or so back are actually bouncing back. I'm actually getting through this a lot faster than I thought I would. I might do these 4 small beds and then we're gonna mix it in. And then later I'll make up my fert that I make. Normally I aerate it for 24 hours, it gets all the microbes going, and it works really well. But it can also be made and just used straight away. It's just not necessarily absorbed by the plant straight away because that 24-hour aeration, initiating that microbe activity, allows the plants to utilize those nutrients straight away instead of the soil microbes having to do it. So that's the top dressing done. I actually ended up doing all the beds. I got through it way faster than I thought I would. Once I did those little beds I spoke about, I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the rest, and got stuck in. Now I've had lunch, chilled out for a bit, now I get stuck in with this hydroponics room. So, this garage is right next to the microgreens room. We're doing this into the hydroponics. So, about a week or so ago before I got really sick, actually it was while I was getting sick, I framed this wall so we can put the mylar up on the wall and then it's going to go up on the roof. So mylar sheet is a silver metallic sheet. It's very reflective, much like using panda film behind me. Panda film or white walls will deflect color, your white light everywhere. Your grow lights just in all directions, whereas mylar is a lot more concentrated on that area. Hence why I'm going to be using it in here. It's going to make the grow lights I'm using on the tomatoes and everything a lot more intense compared to what I've got in the microgreens room. We're not going to paint this floor, but we'll see how we go. So the plan over however long this takes, if you imagine this is the house, this was the carport, it's our processing area now. That's the micros. And this is where we are. This here is this wall here. Now the plan is we put the mylar across this wall, across the roof. From there, I'm going to run a ducting from the house itself into one of our HRV vents. So it'll be sucking warmth from the house itself through a inline fan here and an inline fan here. Combined, we'll have about 760 CFM pulling from the house, which is going to be quite a big draw. So it's going to be trial and error with that, but that will pull warm air into the micros room, alleviating the stress on the heaters heating the micros room because our power bill is through the roof at the moment. And then from there, it'll be distributed through one of those perforated ducting vents that will blow air across the room. I'll then have a fan down here that will pump air from here into our hydroponics room. We'll have our lights here and lettuce and flowers growing here with more lights. From there, we're going to do an extraction fan to get rid of the humidity. So that's the plan. How many videos that's going to take, because I'm not going to do this all in one video like you normally would with like a how-to or whatever. I've done my how-tos when we originally started to make the hydroponics in the processing area, which is why which I forgot to mention. We're moving here because through doing the MP1 program certification for being able to sell like lettuces and stuff, because they're a lot more high risk, I can't have the hydroponics in there because it creates humidity. You've got running water and fertilizers right next to where you process vegetables. So it's no good. So we're moving into here. So first, mylar. We've done the framing. Now we're going to put the mylar up. Let's get stuck into it. Around this way. I should probably get that out of the way instead of walking around it. So that's our mylar. She's very reflective. It's quite thin. It's not as thick as your Panda film, and this one isn't the diamond textured one. And see how we go. So the plan is we're not going to insulate that. Once I put this up, you're going to get a thermal barrier with an air pocket that should mitigate some of the humidity and the moisture in here, but I want this area to cool down overnight, because as the temperature drops through the night, that helps plants that flower, like tomatoes and flowers themselves, trigger their flowering response. So having warm days, cool nights is quite beneficial instead of having a really hot grow room all the time. Kitty proof sellotape. I can't get this off. Give it here. Sausage fingers with no fingernails. Whoops, I bit the wrong thing. Aha! Part of me is starting to think maybe I should line this wall and put this on that. I don't know how structurally sound this is going to be. I don't know why, in my head, I figured this would be a little bit more rigid. So that's one length of the roll done. Wasn't too bad, but I have to do some more. I think we have to tape it and secure it a bit better. I got a feeling that the beautiful chaos that is my children, if they follow me in here, they're gonna see this and be like, ooh, and straight through it. As soon as they see they can put their hand through it, they're going to do it again. No matter how many times I tell them not to. So next to do this next top, but we have to do a few bits for one little bit. Next, to do this next top part, I'm going to have to get rid of this. I'm assuming this was a brace originally. For there is a bit of box section that goes down into the concrete there. And it would have braced to this, but it's pretty obvious this isn't actually doing anything anymore. Are these? So yeah, hence why I've sort of done these and bolted them, anchored them to the brick wall itself, because they are now taking the weight of this top rail up here, acting as a structural support, because that's no longer structural. I don't know how we got our past the building inspection when we bought this house 7 years ago. But she's pretty bad. So we're gonna get the grinder, cut that off. I probably should have cut this off before I did this. Where's my hammer gone? Oh, hey Lynn. Gotta love children. That's why I'm wearing pink earmuffs. I've just had to pinch my daughters because Valen's lost my earmuffs. Bye, Felicia. She's still standing. That's so bad. So we've done the lights, obviously, and all the wiring. The nails are done. Next I've got to pull the motor off, but to pull the motor out, I've got to shut the door, but because the door's shut, you guys can't see me. So we end the video here. Hopefully in the next one, motor will be down, Mylar up, and we'll be able to continue with setting up the lights and the rest of the electrical and everything. So other than that, I'll see you in the next one.